All right, welcome everyone. Please stand if you are able and put your hands together for the Lake Oswego High School class of 2021.
you. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of Lake Oswego High School's class of 2021. I'm George Donzelo, Senior Class President, and it's an honor to be up here speaking to you. I'd like to take this moment to thank the people in our lives who have made this achievement possible: our parents, families, friends, teachers, and staff. Thank you to our parents especially for putting up with us being home every hour of every day, day after day after day. Give it up for your parents. And to our teachers, thank you for supporting our efforts, even when our cameras were off on Zoom and our unmuted mics disturbed the peace. Today, we get to celebrate us, our patience as we watch teachers and students fumble with Zoom classes, our perseverance as we found ways to safely come together amidst rigid health regulations, and our success in forming a strong class bond in spite of enforced isolation. We are the first group of high school seniors to spend the majority of the school year online. Now, this is historic. Nothing like this has ever happened in our country before, and hopefully will never again. The pandemic showed us how the things we take for granted can be taken away. Sitting in a classroom, eating lunch in a cafeteria, passing one another in the hallways, cheering at a football game, holding hands with a sweetheart. All of this was taken away from us and gave us a new appreciation of the luxury of human togetherness. In fact, let's put our hands together for the fact that we are able to be here together, side by side, for this ceremony today. Let's face it, this year was crazy hard. But you know what? Our class is crazy cool for having survived it. Every one of us endured the pandemic in our own way, but our class of 2021 survived by coming together. For senior sunrise, classes on Zoom, scary movie night, and hours of phone and text conversations. In essence, the pandemic brought to light how connected we all are, even as we were separated in quarantine. As I close today, I challenge us to keep coming together through the years by attending our reunions down the road. Let's celebrate the joy of coming together to reminisce about a year of staying apart. As we forge our paths into the future, leading with kindness, responsibility, diligence, and spirit, I know that each of us will go on to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. Be humble, be happy, and don't forget to savor the moment, because no one knows like we do how quickly it can be taken away. Class of 2021, congratulations. I would now like to introduce the man who has led us through our 4 years, the one who brings our students and staff together every day with a warm smile and a contagious laugh. Give it up for our principal, Mr. Dickinson.
All right, it is so good to be here with all of you today. What a beautiful day and what a beautiful occasion. Last week I was sitting up in the stands there just taking it all in. It was a Wednesday evening. May Fate rehearsal was just finishing up, and Jake Watson and Gabe Porter and Nate Waterbury, Mr. Hill, and some others were just hanging around, tinkering with equipment, getting ready for the day ahead, and I was just sitting there, not helping at all. Just feeling the feels, getting a little sentimental about everything, and watching as 17 of our amazing students practice the waltz one more time here at the center of our field. That May Fate music was in the air, a day and strange year almost done, and for whatever reason, it was the most poignant, perfect thing. I'm not the biggest May Fate fan or anything, but seeing them all there, it was beautiful. It was like something out of Rumi's 800-year-old poem, where he writes, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." And what topped it all off was watching our ASB president, Clark Jones, right there in the middle of it all, waltzing alone. I think his partner Allison was headed off to basketball or something, so Clark was just spinning there in the center of the field, playfully skipping and jumping and laughing, surrounded by his friends at the school he loves and that loves him back, practicing his box step, of all things, around the LO. I have 3 kids, and my 2 daughters, they're 10 and 7, they love the artist Lizzo. Growing up is acting less childish, Lizzo said, and being more childlike. There is wisdom in that. I think about dancing in the evening on the field with friends in the middle of it all. I think about armadillos and pufferfish and whale sharks and staff versus senior kickball games, and hope that the ways we open ourselves up to play, to freedom, to joy, will also open ourselves up to a lightness of being beatific that will shine our way with something like love. This year, we have all learned so much. We have our outstanding, inspiring staff to thank for so much of that, people who adapted in the most remarkable ways and dedicated their year to all of you, to your education, to your success, to your well-being, to your continued growth, to knowing you. And we have you and your families to thank as well, and our world. As Melinda Gates said, this pandemic has magnified every existing inequality in our society: systemic racism, gender inequality, poverty, and she's right. We have learned so much about ourselves, our families, our governments, the systems we have created and inherited, the forces at work, how interconnected we are, and how we might and must do better and be better in the most courageous and conscious of ways. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I refuse to accept the view that humankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word," he said. I also think about 2 things Barack Obama shared in his recent memoir. One was about what inspired him as a younger man and helped him on his path. He wrote about young people. To see young people risking everything, he wrote, just to have a say in their own lives, to try to strip the world of the old cruelties, hierarchies, divisions, falsehoods, and injustices that cramp the human spirit, that I had realized was what I believed in and longed to be a part of. Later in the memoir, he shared an image of him and Michelle looking out through the window in the dusk in Norway after he received the Nobel Peace Prize. People had filled the streets, each holding aloft a single lit candle. He described it as a humbling and magical sight, as if a pool of stars had descended from the sky. Whatever you do won't be enough, he thought to himself, and imagined them saying, "Try anyway." I think about people like Izzy and Cameron and Barbara and Janelle and Cassidy and Serena and Nate and so many others who do and try so much, people I would stand in the dusk for and hold aloft a candle to thank. I think about so many of you and the courageous, kind steps you have taken to bend our world toward justice and peace. The way the gaps you find let the light come in, how bright and aware you are. I think about people like Christy Alberg and Bob and Paula Welshons and Terry Tamblin-Sheik and Lee Metzger, better known as Miss Arndt, and what it means to have had such a full and noble career and to be retiring. I think about all of you in this great school and community and the journey ahead. Ocean Vuong reminds us that in Vietnamese, the word for missing someone and remembering them is the same. I like that. I have missed you, will miss you, and will remember you in our school in the brightest of ways. It has been a sweet honor to share space with all of you, and it's a sweet honor to introduce this upcoming musical performance by a cappella. It'll take us a minute to get set up, but here they come. So please put your hands together for Miss Bamford and our great students singing The Road Home. Thank you, everyone. All right, now it's my honor to bring up our next student speaker, Annika. Come on up.
Hello, I'm Annika Bernhardt. We live in a world that is composed of hellos and goodbyes, and oftentimes the goodbyes come at the most unexpected moments. This is not one of those goodbyes. This goodbye we have the ability to prepare for, and the chance to savor. I didn't get the opportunity to grow up in LO, but in the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of becoming a part of this community. In the beginning, it was very daunting. Entering this brick building full of new people and of opportunity, spending 4 years here felt like an impossibly long time. I was scared of not finding my place within it all. Now I stand on the other side of those 4 years. Years that were terrifying and sweet and so different from what I expected them to be. It all feels very short. I know everyone tells you to enjoy high school while you can, because it just doesn't last that long. But I didn't really understand what they meant until today. Our time together has been brief, but so much has changed. There were many moments that were difficult, but in those situations, I was grateful for the community that surrounded me, the guidance of my teachers, the love of my peers, and the instances when we sought to understand each other on a deeper level. These moments that were potentially divisive opened us up and defined us. It occurs to me that the most difficult times have shaped me the most, those moments of sadness intermixed with the moments of joy. And while I appreciate all the people that are here with us today, I cannot help but think of those who are not. Maybe it's a friend who's drifted out of arm's reach, or family who live in faraway places, or those who are more permanently gone, who we can only carry with us in spirit. The effect these people have on our lives resonates deeply, and it is not something to be overlooked while we reflect upon the people who have brought us to this celebrated achievement. Mr. Dickinson once said, "The things that break us make us whole," and I'm going to borrow that line here. This past year has changed us. We've come of age during a pandemic, amidst social unrest and political conflict, and it is important to acknowledge how hard the past year has been. And it is also important to acknowledge how we have adapted and worked to make ourselves and our experiences as whole as they can be. It's been hard and isolating, and I think many of us are still grieving the high school experience we were promised. Sports seasons and proms and classes and little moments that we never got to fully enjoy. But within this, there's connection and growth. We all are a part of the same big, difficult, connected truth. And all of us have lived this shared truth. And while we may not realistically see each other again, forever we will have this shared thing, this entity of shared experience that will connect us to this moment in which we were all together, living this common existence. I think the biggest and most important lesson to be learned is a lesson in presence. And I would like it if we could all take a moment today to reflect on that sense of presence together, to sit with it and be with ourselves as who we are right now. Because as we have learned in the past year, so much that we believe to be constant is transient. So this shared sense of presence keeps us aware of who we are in each and every moment. Today, I feel very lucky to have shared this present moment with all of you. Whether or not we knew each other personally, were desk mates who rarely spoke, or perhaps only brushed past each other in the halls, I'm really happy that you're here with me and with all of us today. As cheesy as it sounds, we're here and we're together, and for this brief moment in our lives before the rest of time takes us rushing away from each other, we are present, and for that, I'm thankful. And I'm also very proud to have known you all and gotten to see the people you've become in this brief time, even if it was an observation that was made at a distance. This ending for me is bittersweet. While there is so much ahead of us and so much to look forward to, there's much I feel we've been made to leave behind. For me, being present in this moment is the best way I can think of to honor our experience with each other, no matter where we will end up. So thank you for being here today and being present. And as we prepare for this goodbye, feel proud for what you've accomplished to be here today, for all the ups and downs in our personal lives, for the effect we've had on the lives of others, for all of our successes and all of our failures. Getting to this point and being who we are today and being present with that person is one of the many gifts and things to celebrate in this moment. I know that we will all have different memories of our time here together, but for me, this moment in particular, when we're here celebrating this accomplishment as a community, will be one that I will cherish. So thank you, and goodbye.
All right, now we have another musical performance. And these music, I think, got us through in so many ways. Often I was up in my office working, students weren't here at school yet, and the dockside dollies would be singing outside, 6 feet apart or 12 feet apart and masked. And it just brought me to tears, honestly, every time I heard them. So it's so great to have them here with us right now. So put your hands together for the dockside dollies.
Hello, we are the Dockside Dollies, and today we'll be performing And So It Goes by Billy Joel. In every heart there is a room, a sanctuary safe and strong, to heal the wounds from love
too much. My silence is my self-defense, and every time I held a rose, it seems I only felt the thorns. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so will you soon, I suppose. But if my silence made you leave, then that would be my worst mistake. So I will share this room with you, and you can have this heart to break. And this is why my eyes are closed. It's just as well for all I've seen. And so it goes, and so it goes, and you're the only one who knows. So I would choose to be with you. That's if the choice were mine to make. But you can make decisions too, and you can have this heart to break. And so it goes, and so it goes, and you're the only one who knows.
All right, Cameron, you ready? Our next student speaker. Come on up, Cameron.
Welcome, everyone. Students, faculty, parents, YouTube streamers. It's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us in celebrating our seniors. As the introduction said, I'm Cameron Izuka. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm honored to be addressing you all one last time. Although I must admit we look very put together right now, it's really not the best weather for wearing oversized polyester sweat tents. I'd like to apologize in advance if I spontaneously combust. I'd like to begin by honoring the people who helped us all get here today. Thank you to the teachers who've worked tirelessly to guide us these past 4 years. Thank you for coming in early and staying late to help us with homework, talking to us at lunch when we had no one else to sit with, and encouraging free thought with every activity, discussion, and assignment. Thank you to the parents, relatives, and family friends who supported us outside of school. Thank you for checking in on us after long days, driving us to and from rehearsals and practices, and helping us with math homework that just wasn't clicking. A special thank you to our classified staff for keeping our school clean and doing all the other behind-the-scenes work that often goes unnoticed in such a busy school environment. Finally, thank you to our administration for leading with compassion and recognizing our value as more than our grades and test scores. Ask someone their first impression of high school, and they'll probably say their first time attending a football game or a school musical. Not me. It was the last day of 8th grade, and we had just walked across the street. After our own graduation ceremony, we sat in the auditorium, clustered around friends and family, eager to listen to performances and speeches by students and staff alike. Most memorably, Mr. Dickinson recited a poem, Shake the Dust by Anis Mojgani. The title was repeated throughout, every time adding emphasis and expanding its meaning, urging us to be our best selves because this world is ours. This past year, however, the world was not ours. Instead, it was ruled by a virus. Graduation speeches are usually a moment of reassurance that everything will be okay, everyone will find fulfillment in a life defined all on their own, we'll be safe and continue to grow and learn wherever we go. But to be completely honest, I cannot offer you this, let alone offer it to myself. There are many broken systems in this world that continue to marginalize people, just as there are many greedy individuals who make it harder for us to change those systems. After being separated from each other for so long, and after watching the world catch fire, it's more important now than ever to shake the dust. I will spare you from the language like unprecedented and global and pandemic in order to say that, yes, this was a historic year. When we reflect on this time in the future, hopefully it will feel more distant. 10 years from now, Mr. Isaac will probably be talking about the great COVID recession in AP Econ, just as Mr. Kepping may be writing lectures about the power of the media in 2020 using found footage from the Capitol siege. Miss Michael may be writing homework problems with ladies named Karen hoarding dozens of rolls of toilet paper. We lived through national wildfires, ice storms, historic elections, and insurrection, and are still living through a widespread pestilence, a civil rights movement, and a global climate crisis. Despite the assault on our daily existence for the past 500 days, we survived. We stayed home, we masked up, we took time to learn and unlearn. Our classrooms became computer screens, athletic fields became backyards, group hangouts became FaceTimes, and vacations became evening family walks around the cul-de-sac. Despite the loss of normalcy and the loss of loved ones, we persevered. We showed our community what it is to be a Laker, someone brave, resilient, and hopeful. Well, maybe not always hopeful. Speaking for myself, I had at least 67 mental breakdowns where I couldn't stop crying, but hey, we made it. I'd like to acknowledge my classmates and thank each and every one of you for not giving up. Please take a moment and give yourselves a round of applause. As I approach the end of this speech, I feel we should also recognize and feel gratitude for our privilege. We are incredibly lucky to live in a community as safe and affluent as Lake Oswego, just as we are to attend such a fine school with excellent teachers and programs. I'm certain that many of you will take the knowledge you've gained here to continue doing extraordinary things. So this is not a goodbye, but a see you later. I look forward to reading about your achievements, listening to your music, liking your Instagram posts, and I hope that the future memories you create will be even more meaningful than the ones made thus far. Whatever you do and wherever you go, shake the dust, because this world, now and forever, will always be yours. Change the things you cannot accept, take risks and learn from them, be a lifelong learner, act with empathy and equity in mind, savor the moments of joy that feel infinite. In the words of Anis Mojgani, when the world knocks at your front door, clutch the knob and open on up, running forward into its widespread, greeting arms with your hands before you, trembling though they may be. To the class of 2021, shake the dust.
Thank you to our speakers, those were wonderful. Now, each year, the senior class nominates a teacher who embodies what it truly means to be a Laker. This is someone who not only teaches with passion, but also goes above and beyond to to foster a fun, welcoming environment for all students in their classes. The class of 2021's nominee this year is an exceptional teacher, not to mention a star football coach. He's devoted to his students like no other, and although his serious nature can be intimidating at times, his students know he has a big heart. It's my pleasure to introduce our 2021 speaker, Mr. Hubley.
Thank you, George. That was a great introduction. I appreciate that. Dr. Sheely, members of the school board, Mr. Dickinson, families and friends that are here today, and especially to you guys, the class of 2021. I'm so honored to have been the faculty member selected to speak to you today. I'm beyond humbled that you chose me out of all the amazing teachers I have the great honor of calling my colleagues with this task. Normally, the graduating class chooses a staff member who is well-spoken. Mr. Noble, Mr. Kepping, Mrs. Wolf-Roca, rather than the shy, monotone math teacher football coach. When George told me that you had nominated me, I doubted I was up to the task, and I took some time to think about it. And later that day, I was driving with my 11-year-old son, Carson, and I told him that I'd been asked to speak at graduation and that while I was honored, I was scared. And he turned and he looked at me and he said, "Dude." My kids call me dude. He said, "Dude, come on, you got this." So when I got home, I emailed George and accepted. Let's hope Carson was right. Class of 2021, your high school experience has been like none other. A year ago at this time, we were lamenting the class of 2020. And at the time, none of us would have imagined that you were going to be the ones whose senior year was going to be so significantly impacted. You've had to face so many unique challenges and have endured so many hardships and lost out on so many opportunities. For those of you who know me, you know I value treating challenge as opportunity. And if you had me as a teacher prior to COVID, you knew never to ask me if you had to do anything, because you knew my response was going to be no, you don't have to do anything. You get to do it. You have an opportunity to do it. I didn't say those things this year. I couldn't put that on you. I felt like you needed compassion and empathy this year more than you needed a football coach telling you to toughen up. But with that said, here we are at graduation, and it's time to move on. And we need to find some opportunities to learn from what we've gone through this year. Before we get to those lessons, however, we do have to acknowledge that we all have some things we are going to miss about this year. Which one of you isn't going to miss attending your first period class in bed? Still in your pajamas, having woken up only seconds before logging into your Zoom meeting. Your camera was off, of course, which in this case was probably for the best. While snapping with your friends or scrolling TikTok or watching the Gilmore Girls on Netflix and only partially listening to your teacher try to teach you something as you photomathed the math homework that was due second period. Some of you thrived with this newfound lack of structure. You got your schoolwork done, even if you weren't fully engaged during class time. You found jobs, you worked out, or you helped support your family. For others, this lack of structure was less than ideal. You might have found it hard to even get out of bed, and you might have spent the bulk of your day playing video games. When the accountability of a normal school day was taken from you, you found yourselves at a crossroads. You were faced with making a choice about whether or not you wanted to be challenged. You were faced with the difficult task of holding yourself accountable. And I know there were times that we all chose the easier path. But the lesson we should learn is that a purposeful, meaningful life comes with challenges. We need goals to aspire to, something to overcome, and something to be held accountable for. And whether your thing is academics, theater, band, orchestra, art, sports, choir, cheer, dance, volunteering, coding, or auto mechanics, having something to be passionate about pushes us to be our best and to grow. When COVID took these things away from us, we might have been tempted to live an easier life, a life curled up in a blanket. The lesson we've had the opportunity to learn is that that life has a little less meaning. Life can't always be lived in our slippers and a comfy, or with our cameras off and our dogs in our lap. And while there's no doubt that confronting challenges provides us purpose, that is not the most significant thing we missed out on this year. No, the thing about the events we missed is that they were the things we were all supposed to have experienced together. For me personally, the most empty feeling I have ever had as a teacher was teaching to a computer screen full of your pet's pictures, some silly gifts, or the ceiling fan in your bedroom. Don't get me wrong, your pet is super cute. However, teaching to a picture of your cat did not leave me with a sense of fulfillment at the end of the day. Not seeing the glimmer of understanding in your eyes or the questioning look prompting me to explain it another way left me empty and frustrated. I missed you guys this year. Think back to your pre-COVID school years, or to the small pieces of it that you've been able to reclaim in our partial return to school this spring. Think about being in those stands at a game. What made that so great? Did it matter if the team won? Or was it being with your friends, laughing and cheering and counting stands push-ups that left you with a smile as you walked out the gates? Think about being a part of a team, whether it was the water polo team, or the robotics team, or the speech and debate team, or the theater tech team. What really made it so special? I hope it was what you and your peers brought to each other. The way your teammates can lift you up and inspire you to carry you on when you want to quit. The way success is made all the sweeter when you get to celebrate together. So more than anything, we have to have learned to not take for granted the connection we all have with one another. We have to have learned that more than anything else, we missed each other this year. You need to take that lesson out into the world with you. In everything you do, acknowledge and honor that the connection you have with the people in your lives is the absolute most important thing of all. And as we think about that connection, I want you to think about one word. For most of us, it's a difficult word to say. That word is love. I hope you go out into the world not being afraid to say that word. I hope you never let an opportunity go by to tell the people who have a positive impact on your life that you love them. Class of 2021, life is not meant to be lived asynchronously. Life is meant to be lived with your cameras on. Don't be afraid to open yourself up to be challenged. Find something to be passionate about and let the challenge of taking it on help you grow. Whether you conquer the challenge or not, you'll be better for it. Hold yourself accountable for opening yourself to the people around you. Hold yourself accountable for setting your phone down and giving of yourself to others. And when others do the same for you, hold yourself accountable for letting them know you love them for their effort. Class of 2021, congratulations, and thank you again for this humbling honor. Thank you for your effort, for your energy, your commitment, your resilience, your smiles, and your laughter these last 4 years. Thank you for challenging me. Thank you for enriching my life. I love you.
All right, our next speaker is our incoming superintendent. She's a dear friend of mine, and she is someone who will rise to the challenges of the superintendency with grace and heart and a deep love for the people here and the ones to come. So Dr. Jennifer Shealy, come on up.
Good afternoon. I would hardly suggest what I'm going to be doing is giving a speech right now, but I do have the most important role because this is the time everyone has been waiting for. Members of the Lake Oswego School Board, it gives me great pleasure to present the members of Lake Oswego High School Class of 2021 who have successfully completed the State of Oregon and Lake Oswego School District requirements for their high school diploma. Now, will the class of 2021 come forward to receive your diploma?
Joseph C. Abel. Luke Gino Alati. Calvin Grant Anderson. Nora Claire Anderson. Becky Choi Baklita. Sia Bajaj. Thomas Kainoa Baker. William Baldwin. Bridget McKinley Barnett. Samantha Lee Bartels. Grace Marie Bauer. Jada Q. Bell. Andreas Delphacus Benavente. Dima Leanne Betros. Jacqueline Grace Booth. Rylan Lee Boyles. Sophie Madeline Brazier. Jamie Paige Brennan. Cora Celestine Buttville. Carson Jack Campbell. Catherine Joy Cantrell. Cassidy Jaslyn Cardwell. Barbara Churan Chen. Emmy Chu. Hunter Clark. Courtney Collins. Quinn Delaney Connell. Paul Thomas Convery. Kira Lillian Sway Crawford. Hannah Elizabeth Christ. Avery Ann Cesar. Elizabeth Marie Lynn Kuch. Tabitha Rose Daniels. Kat Clark Davis. Annie Davis. Lauren Jean Davis.
Say Alex Davis. You need to say Alex.
Alex Clark Davis. Ryan Patrick DeReeve. Shannon E. DeReeve. Christopher James Detmer. Ellie Brooke Devine. Nicholas Alessandro D-Ray. Isabella McCorkle Diaz. Evan Donaldson. Matthew Aaron Douglas. Elaine Du. Cadence Kenna Duckett. Pearson Duden. Emiliano Duran. Suki Elliott. Ethan James Evans. Fletcher William Ferris. Lucas Balin Feldstein. Melissa Ryan Fenton. Andrew Flores. Nathaniel George Foster. Madeline LaRue Francis. Eleanor Gorman Freck. Kagan James Freitag. Jessica Lynn Friedman. Tristan M. Fuentes. Ethan M. Fullman. Colin M. Galbraith. Lillian Claire Garrett. Phoebe Elizabeth Garrett. Scott Matthew Gevertz. Daryush Ganea Basiri. Emily D. Glasscock. Grace Louise Goodrich. Grace Ann Colvey Governman. Olivia Malene Gurley. Tylen Gustav. Brianna Catalina Gutierrez. Keyshawn Dominique Hall. Olivia Grace Hansen. Martin Richard Haley. Ronan W. Herbst. Josie C. Hughes. Spencer Henry Hewitt. Joseph James Hoffman. Anna Sophia Hovey. Michael Huey. Aram Herr. Victoria Simone Hutchinson. Marissa Ingram. Amelia Jabber. Casey Willis James. Michelle Miyama Jantour. William Dixon Johnson. Jacob T. Johnstone. McKenna Sorrell Joyce. Monish Tomden Judge. Kendall Renee Kalin. Thank you, Monish. Sophia Joy King. Hayden Lance Kavanaugh. Bianca Kennedy. Talha Kondwala. Tariq Kandwala. Jack Richard Kilshaw. Logan Knipple. Nathan Knox. Olivia Ryan Kovac. Harrison W. Kremer. Isabel Margaret Kremer. Josie Vizon Kulowick. Kayana Pekarium Kwok. Alexander Arthur Emery LaFrance. William Maxwell Landers. Cole Christopher Leach. Alexander M. Lee.
You skipped Aiden Finn LeBaron.
Aiden Finn LeBaron. Abby Madison. Caitlin Elizabeth Leonard. Benjamin Michael Lashinsky. Gabriel Robert Levy. Conlon Light. Jean L. Liu. James X. Liu. Justice Hope Liu. Jerry Liu. Isabel Grace Lockard. Dylan Pecklock. Julian Richard Lopez. Andre Marcel Louviere. Serena Lum.
Congrats, Andre. I'm happy for you.
Andrew M. Luther. Emery Lynn Mann. Tyler Lewis Miller. McAllister Nelson. Kelly Kathleen O'Donnell. Lauren Elizabeth O'Toole. Megan Catherine Sims. Roman Malay Sinkus.
Cameron Riley Izuka. Annika Cecilia Magnusdotter Bernhardt. Malcolm Christopher Williams. Margaret May Glad. Lindy Joy Hansen. Cassandra Louisa Chan. Elizabeth Danae Bell. George Laverne Donzelot. Clark Michael Jones. Cole Dennis Leeper. Cassidy Jordan Miller. Allison Jade Sweeney. Emily Yee Joyce. Carly Ann Zerker. Jacob Miles Watson. Andrew M. Lee.
Are we starting it now? Or is there something we're waiting for?
Starting. I don't know if people are starting.